The Stag, the Lion, and the Eagle. A young prince once had a wicked stepmother who wanted her son to inherit the kingdom. She employed a huntsman to take the prince out into the forest and slay him. The huntsman, however, did not want to kill the boy, so he took him to the wildest part of the woods and left him there for the wild animals to devour. The young prince knew no fear. He ate berries and nuts and drank from the brooks and streams. He slept beneath the sheltering trees and wandered through the wilderness filled with wonder and love at the sight of nesting birds and prowling beasts. So quietly and gently did he live and move that the wild things did not run from him, but let him come among them as he wished. One day he found a stag whose antlers were caught in the branches of a tree, and he could not lower its head to eat. The prince went up to the stag and loosened its antlers from the branches. The stag was then free to go on its way, but as the prince turned to go, it followed him and would not leave his side. It became his companion, journeyed with him everywhere, and often was happy to carry the prince on its back. Another day the forest resounded with a loud roaring, and the prince and the stag searched until they found a lion caught in a hunter's net. Fearlessly the prince approached the unhappy beast and loosened the ropes that bound it. Now the lion was free. It could have leaped upon the stag and the boy and devoured them with its mighty jaws, but instead it tenderly licked the hands of the child who had freed it, and as the prince and the stag moved on, the lion followed them and became their companion. Not long after that, the three companions came upon a wounded eagle lying in pain at the foot of a high cliff. Its wing was pierced through. Its wings was pierced through with a hunter's arrow. The prince approached the great bird, pulled the arrow from its wing, and stroked its head. While the eagle was recovering from its wound, the prince brought it food and drink. At last it was healed and flew high into the sky. But as the prince, the stag, and the lion journeyed on, the eagle followed them and became their companion. So it was that these four dwelt together as friends. The stag would carry the prince on his way when he was tired. The lion would guard him as he slept. The eagle would fly overhead, keeping watch and guiding them away from dangerous places. The prince lived with his three faithful companions for many a days until he was a young man, and from each of his friends he learned a lesson of life. From the stag he learned sure-footedness on the most dangerous ground, for the stag could carry him along narrow edges of rocks on the faces of sheer cliffs. From the lion he learned courage, for the lion guarded the prince's life with his own. From the eagle he learned watchfulness, for the eagle flying high could observe all that lay ahead. Now that the prince was a young man, he remembered his father, kingdom, and the great desire to return to it filled his heart. His companion saw that every day he became more and more solemn and sad. As he and they had learned to speak with one another, they asked him why he was not happy. He told them that the time had come for him to return to his father's palace and to live once more among other human beings. The three beasts loved their prince dearly and did not want him to leave them, yet they wanted him to be happy. "I will guide you to your father's kingdom," said the eagle, "but the arrow which you drew from my wing will find me again." "I will carry you to the palace gates," said the stag, "but then I will be caught as before in the branches of a tree, and the soldier of the king will kill me for venison." I will guard you against those who might try to keep you from your kingdom, said the lion. But the hunters who trapped me before will capture me again. It fell out just as the beast had foretold. As the eagle, circling over the king's palace, marked the way for the young prince, a hunter drew his bow and the arrow pierced the eagle's heart. The prince rode up to the palace gate on the back of the stag and then dismounted to enter on foot. The palace guards and their dogs gave chase to the stag and drove it back to the forest, where its antlers became hooked in the branches of a tree, and it could not escape death at the hands of the soldier. As the lion roared and sprang at the guards so that the prince could enter the palace, hunter threw a net over it and slew it with their spears. In the meantime, the old king, hearing all the commotion at the gate, came forth and recognized his son, whom he had long thought dead. He embraced him and led him into the palace. The wicked king had long since died, poisoned by her own sins, and the young prince was given the rule over the kingdom by his father. It is not easy to be a king who rules wisely and well, but a strange thing happened. Although the stag, the lion, and the eagle had died, they were still so close to the prince that they seemed to have become part of him. When, as king, he needed to be watchful, he would feel the eagle hovering near his head. When he needed courage, he would feel the great heart of the lion pulsing near his own. And when he had to be sure-footed to make his way through danger, he would sense the strong and delicate limbs of the stag carrying him on his way without faltering or stumbling. So he became a great king because he was as far-sighted as the eagle, as brave as the lion, and as steady as the stag. The animals in me. An eagle sees things from great height. A lion's heart is strong. An antelope is fleet in flight. Wisdom, courage, and goodwill in me belong.